Yo, what's good people, it's your boy LLB. Today I'm going to be breaking down my mixing process. Now I know I've done a few of these in the past, but things change. I've switched up the workflow a little bit, add little things in, take things out. So yeah, I thought I'd give you guys an update on the mixing source, show you guys how to get those drums hitting nice and clean. And this is kind of easy to do as well, quite time efficient, which is what I like to be. Real quick before we get into this one, the easiest and the fastest way to mix your beats comes before you start mixing. It's all to do with sound selection. And yeah, if you want to get some sick sounds, then I definitely recommend jumping on the Anthurium bundle kit. It's my latest release. I combined 5 crazy kits all into one huge bundle. I've put all of my cleanest drum sounds in there, my best loops, my best hi-hat midis, best one-shots, and a crazy effects kit that's got some bonus textures in there too. So yeah, if you want to make your life easier when it comes to this stuff, when it comes to mixing, then yeah, that's definitely a good option for you. So yeah man, here's a beat we cooked up earlier this week. As you can hear, it kind of sounds clean off the bat, and that's kind of like reinforcing that point I made earlier that sound selection is key. Get yourself some good sounds before you even start mixing. It's going to make your life a whole lot easier. So yeah, let's get into the first tip, and this is kind of like a pre-tip. This kind of comes while you're making the beat, and that is to pre-level the beat. So what I mean by this is that as you're making the beat, I mean, you should naturally be doing this anyway, but as you're making the beat, you want to kind of just level each sound as you're adding it to the beat, just to your liking, you know, like as I'm making the beat, if I'm adding the 808s, for example, it's like too quiet right now, obviously. Use this volume knob on the left and just crank it up until I like it, you know. Same for the rim, turn it up a little bit. And you just do that as you're making the beat. So anytime you add a sound, just make sure you're just leveling it a little bit. Make sure it's just sounding nice and punchy, just how you want it as you're making the beat. Because this is going to save a whole lot of time on the back end too. So that's the first thing, is just a pre-level. You're going to go through and do that as you're making the beat. But yeah, once you've done that, once everything's arranged in the playlist, then we can move on to the next step, which is to organize everything. What I mean by organize is just get all the sounds that you've added to the beat and just get it organized into the mixer. This doesn't have to take a crazy amount of time. You don't have to recolor anything or mess around. All I'll do is just route everything to the mixer in a logical way. The easiest way to do that is to arrange everything in the channel rack first. So I'll normally have my melodies at the top. This is the loop I worked with. So I've got my 808s at the top right here, and my main percussion like rim, snare, open hat, hi-hat, snare, open hat. But yeah, honestly, none of this matters really. Just get it in a logical order that you're comfortable with. Once you've done that, then we can put it into the mixer. Left click, hold, and drag all the sounds that you've got. Come to the mixer, right click, channel routing, route selected channel starting from this track. It'll drop everything into the mixer in the order that's in the channel rack. Okay, now we've got everything in the mixer. Now we can sort out our master channel. So the first thing is an EQ. You can use the Pro EQ. If you don't have that, you can just use the parametric EQ. And I'll just bump up the highs a tiny bit. This just adds a bit of brightness to the whole mix. Do not go over the top with this. I hear too many beats where the high end's just crazy boosted. It sounds way too sharp and it hurts my ears. So yeah, don't be that guy. So that's the first thing, man. Literally just a quick high end boost. I'm boosting around 6,500 hertz here. Next effect is another EQ, and for me this is just to add little minor cuts and boosts where I feel like the beat is needing it. So for this beat I wanted the high mids to be boosted just a tiny bit more. Around the low mids was a bit muddy, a bit boxy, so I just cut them a tiny bit, and then a little bit of low boost just so we got that 808 coming through nice and clean. Look at how subtle these boosts and cuts are. They're not crazy, they're very, very subtle. One thing I do want to emphasize on though is this thing right here, this little cut. This is just a high cut, okay, and I'm just cutting around 20k, brick wall cut at 20k. Anything above that we can't really hear, and it just cuts out any of those like sharp frequencies that I mentioned earlier. So that's the second EQ. Okay, cool. Now the next plugin is the Source, and I've only recently started using this, but it's a game changer, man. The plugin is called Pure Limit. This is a plugin from Sonible, who very kindly have sponsored this video. But Pure Limit is basically a limiter that just makes it so easy to get your beats just sounding loud and punchy. We've got the soft clipper source, like Fruity Soft Clipper. We've got the classic clipper as well, which work fine. Honestly, they work just fine. But I've been testing this thing out, and it's been making my beats hit super hard. It's just as easy to use as the clippers too, and it's got a little bit of extra sauce in there that I'll get into in a second. So yeah, that's the Pure Limit, and after that, we're good. Like that's the master. 2 EQs and the Pure Limit. If you don't have the Pure Limit, then I'll leave a link in the description. Before we start using these, what I'll do now is I'll use the loudest sound in the beat, which if you're like me, if you're like a trap producer or a drill producer, it's normally going to be the 808 or the kick. I'm going to use that as a reference to kind of mix the rest of the beat, if that makes sense. But yeah, solo the 808, play it. Now jump back to the master, open up the limiter. You can either come into one of these pre-selected presets that they use as the algorithm to limit the song. So I'll use hip hop in this example. Play the beat, hit record, and it'll just analyze the sound. Okay. So it's already making it hit harder already. But I like a bit more control over this. I like to do this a bit more manually. Just reset everything to 0. First thing I'll do is turn this style to hard. Then I'll hit play and just keep boosting the gain until it's hitting nice and hard. And you can use this visualizer as well in the middle as a gauge. I mean, that's saying nice and hard, man. Okay, and that's literally it. That's why I switched to the pure limit, mainly because of this interface, because I can actually see how much I'm pushing it with this little visualizer in the middle. So yeah, that's sick. Once you've got that, we'll go back to the mixer, and now we can go and reintroduce all the sounds to the beat and level them. First thing I'll bring back is the melody. Okay, it's a little bit too loud, so I'm just gonna turn it down a bit. Yeah, that's good for me. Next sounds I'll bring in is like the main percussion, like the rim shot, snares, hi-hats. Next thing, hi-hat. With the hi-hat, a little side tip, depending on the sample you use, sometimes they can be a bit sharp. If it is sounding a bit sharp, then I'll just add a parametric EQ, just like right in the meat of the sound. And I'll also add some reverb, like this is just muscle memory. I'll do this in every beat. Valhalla vintage verb, and I'll come into the plate presets and go with thin plate. Turn the mix down, 10, 5. And then I'll just turn it down as well here in the mixer. Dead subtle and it's hardly noticeable, but it just kind of brings it into the mix a bit cleaner. Yeah, let's go with the snare. Yeah, that's fine. Open hat. Bit too loud. Sounds good. And then this perk. Yeah, that sounds fine as well. Notice how quickly I was able to just run through that. That was because of the pre-level. I'd already kind of leveled these as I made the beat. So when I got to this point, it was just, you know, it's just super easy. Now, once you got the leveling done, you can just leave it at that. But there's one extra little thing that I'll do. So what I will do is grab all my percussive sounds, not the bass, not the 808, just the percussive sounds like the rim, hi-hat, claps, perks, snares, effects. I'll highlight them and I'll just route them to another random mixer track. So all of these drums are just running through one mixer track as well now. So they're going from there to this one, for example, boom, call it drums. So they're all running through here. Okay, what I'll do is I'll add an imager and I'll just pull the width down. I just like to glue all those drums together by just bringing the width down. It just seems to add a little bit more space in the mix down here. And then the second thing I've added is the decapitator. And this is a real subtle effect. I don't want to go too crazy with the decapitator, but the decapitator is just like a saturation plugin. Just beefens up whatever you run through it. I'll play it and I'll just go over the top so you guys can hear what it sounds like. It sounds like it's getting louder, but it's not. Take a look at the dB on the side right here as I pull it up. If I keep pushing it, don't go above 9. Actually goes down. Yeah, you add in like loudness, grittiness. You can see how much you're adding using this window right here. Yeah, that's literally all I'm adding. So yeah, that's the drums. Now the last step that I'll do is I'll come back into the pure limit. I'll use this thing right here. It's called inflate. You'll be able to see it in the visualizer in a second, but it just kind of brings everything together very subtly. Somehow the 808 still hits and the drums are still knocking when I use this. So yeah, I don't know how it works, man, but I think it sounds sick. So yeah, let me bring everything back in and I'll drag this inflate knob up and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Right here, look. Yeah, it just glues it all together and the 808 actually starts hitting even harder. It sounds crazy, man. I like it to knock, but I don't want it to be too clippy, too fuzzy. Yeah, that's it. I'm happy with that, man. And after that, that's the beat. I'm done. And that's my mixing workflow. There's only a couple of minor changes like using the pure limit, you know, adding that little drum bus to bring everything closer together. But the simpler you make this process for you as a producer, as a beat maker, the better. A lot of people talk about mastering beats, but unless you're uploading a beat tape or a project where it's just beats, then that's the only time where you really need to master. But us guys as producers, if we're making beats to upload to our beat store, then this is enough. Let the artist add their vocals and let the engineer take care of the mastering once the song's been made, all right? But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, people. I hope this was helpful. Again, big shout out to Sonable for sponsoring this one, man. Pure Limit has really changed up the whole sort of like punchiness of my beats, so hopefully you can do the same for you, man. And if you want to jump on that plugin, I'll leave a link in the description for you, man. But yeah, other than that, have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.